This is a pretty steep dirt track out here, and I thought I might bring the Australian version of the Honda CT125, also known as the Honda Hunter Cub, out here, give it a bit of a workout on this hill. So the Honda Hunter Cub is also known over in the US as the Honda Trails 125. So this is just not the ordinary stock standard version. On this one of mine I've just put in more type of off-road tyres, so we can have a bit of a look there. So it's fitted with off-road tread, a high lift mudguard, so it's got a mudguard extender on it. It's got YSS shocks front and rear. The rear ones are just more the standard type gas with 7-way adjustables, and it's also got the YSS spring inserts there in the handlebars, so that helps a little bit in that line. I also run a 5 litre spare gas can on the side just in case it runs out. When I first got this bike it was running something like 60 kilometres to the litre on run-in. Now it's running a lot less. I suppose it'd be around that 40 mark because I've done upgrades. The other big news on this particular bike, and I've set it up for hill climbing, would be the gearing. So both sprockets were removed, and I've fitted a 13 tooth front and a 45 rear. So and a new chain. So that's about all the necessities you'd require on this bike to get out, tackle a few good hills, and that's the purpose of this bike, and it does that task just fine. Now my thoughts on this bike, if you're after something for a good adventure style bike, whether you're just out doing a bit of photography or whether you want something that you'd like to get out there and do a bit of hunting on, this bike would be perfect for that too, because in this tan colour it's a perfect camouflage bike. With the gearing I've got, it's good up to around about 70 kilometres an hour. It's pretty quick. I'd standard start from 70, so it'd catch most things into that bracket of say a bit over 40 mile an hour. Out on the road it'd be a little bit of a disappointment there, because when you get out that way, like, it's not a car chaser because it's only 125 cc's, but under that it's good. Now another good thing from a point of view on this slow hill climbing, it should be able to tackle this hill here, and it's a fairly steep incline up here and pretty rough, and as you get up higher towards where those posts are up the top there, the phone lines or electricity lines, it's very steep up there, and I'm going to go up this fairly slow, and that would indicate as if I wanted to creep up on some sort of a game to photograph or any other thing, how quiet I could get up there and how slow I could go. Rather, it's not a Speedy Gonzales race. Like, in other words, it'd be a fair stretch, and where you out walking up there you'd be puffing pretty strong by the time you got to the top, but you could come up on this bike pretty quiet, get up to where you wanted to get up on whatever you're doing, and you'd be able to shoot off whatever you're going to do, like your camera, or if you're a game shooter, something like that, and they'd be unaware that you're even up on it because it's a very quiet bike. I'll even run a rear camera at the back and you'll be able to see you climb a little bit better on the way. So overall I am pretty happy with this bike. So if you're in the market to buy something like this and you want to go into the hunting side, well, I think this would be a perfect bike to hit that side of the thing, and I think you'd be 100% satisfied with the purchase to do that. The way it's set up compared to the stock bike, this one here is really geared to go on that. So we'll set this camera back up on the carrier I've got here on the chesty mount from GoPro, and we'll see how we perform up this hill. It'll only be a slow climb just to give you an idea how I can just tackle this hill at a slow pace. Okay guys, we'll head up now, just a slow run up this hill. As you can see, it's a fairly rough one, so we're just going to take this nice and easy, so that if we were heading onto a game run, we wouldn't be scaring the crap out of them. Or if we're up here to do a nice photo of some wild animals, we wouldn't be making that. So now we're really climbing high up this one now. So I can slow this bike right down, not getting any wheel slip or nothing, and I'm really just crawling along here now. Wheels are gripping well, so you could probably tell, barely moving. Best thing about this little bike is too that if you had to put your hand out, this is a real steep pinch here, and look at this, I'm just climbing up here that slow that it's really hard to balance the bike on going that slow. I have to zigzag back and forth to keep the balance. And back here, just so easy. I'm going that slow on this bike and I've got power there anytime I really want to give it to it. Just at the top of this one there's a really slow pinch, so like I said, I could come up this hill whether I'm doing photography, doing a bit of a hunting expedition, or I was chasing foxes or anything like that, and I could sneak right up on the game, get to the top of this hill and do it. And here's the last part of this hill, a really steep little pinch here, and you just see how steep this is. I'll just run it straight up the middle and you'll see it now. I've got to lean forward now to be able to keep balance or the bike will lift. So this is really steep now. Look at that, really nice. And the best thing about it, I can stop now. I'm flat foot, and if I want to do, I could just do whatever I want. Spray the kickstand down, don't even have to worry about a clutch because there's none. To give you an idea now, I've got my back camera on. And if you're looking there now, you should be able to see how far I come up this rise. So it gives you a quick idea there how far I climbed in that short period of time. Okay guys, same hill, but back around the loop again. We might set the pace and move this up here just a little bit quicker compared to the first one, just show you how it goes up normal. So let's go. I'm off the seat now because the ride's a bit quicker. Put it fire along up here. Now here's that steep pinch now. Look at that, right up there, no trouble at all. So there I am, back up that hill now. back around here. Take a lap around here, might just swing over this little bit of a rough terrain here. Give you a bit of a ride down this rough sort of embankment slow. It's fairly dicey down this way where we're coming down. This is a fairly steep little pinch. Best thing about this here, it's pulling up this really well. I can put my feet on the ground there and guide it. That was a fairly steep little pinch too. So we'll head up a little bit further. Straight up over the top of that. Just graded the road here, so it's pretty rough. Go for a run in here, just see what it's. Bike's moving around a bit, but tyres are handling it pretty good. Overall, great little package. Hope you guys enjoy this bit because it's really showing you how good the tyres are, because I wouldn't like to bring me stock tyres back on here. Let's go straight up here. Look at it, it's very easy. Certainly it's good to have good tyres and grip and good gear. This is the first time I've decided to come down this bit of a pinch, but mostly it's the other way and I head up it and do a loop, but road's closed around that way so you can't get in. But I think with my suspension setup and the good tyres on it, you can really notice the difference how well this little bike runs around all these areas trouble free and more effortlessly compared to how I had it when I first picked the bike up. And if I even want to give it to it, I can. A little bit of acceleration. Yes, I hopefully enjoyed that little bit of a burst on this bike, showing you how to gear and wet the tyres, how to climb that hill. So you can see it will climb a good hill, it'll climb it fairly quick with this gearing and tying combo, and it'll also climb it really slow if you're out there stalking game, or if you just want to stalk and get that really out of the way photo, and instead of busting your bum out there walking up a hill or something to that effect. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of a trip through the forest. This combo gearing isn't for everyone. It's really more like for this one I mentioned. You know, if you're a bit of an outdoor adventurer or a hunter's type person that might want a bike like this, probably out on the road to be a little bit on the more useless side and may get you into more problems. I found the top speed I could get with this gearing. I think I knocked 83 kilometres an hour GPS, which would have been roughly about 8,000 revs, or slightly over 8,000 revs. I find now with this gearing I am doing 100 revolutions to the motor per 1 kilometre. So in other words, if I'm doing 10 kilometres an hour in top gear, I'm doing 1,000 revs. So the motor's sort of singing along a bit. Not much you can do about that. If you want a little bit more performance and hill climbing, you got to take the good with the bad, I suppose. Everyone's here having a picnic today, so everyone's happy. So you've got your mindset on one of these. Just the fact it's got a auto clutch is that big plus where you can come up, get to whatever goal you're chasing, and then jump straight off the bike, or just put your feet straight on the ground, flat foot, no trouble whatsoever, and you're ready to party, you could say. So that's one good thing about this bike. It sort of gives you a lot of confidence in all areas you sort of venture into. And I was very impressed how quick it went up that last hill, considering how steep it is, how rough it is. And I've been up there with the ordinary factory tyres on it, and it climbed it okay, but when I give it to it on the second run, it was really powering up there quite fast. So between the tyres and the suspension all working at one, you know, good overall package. So not a fast bike, but a very enjoyable bike overall that'll take you to a lot of places where you probably would never have been, and I think it'll take you there by yourself and you don't have to have backup. So, you know, you can go there with confidence. So once again, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for tuning in, taking a look, and I'll catch up to you on the next clip.